video will briefly touch on the Consumer Protection Act, mainly focusing on Section 56, subsection 2, which deals with warranty and quality of goods. I'm not a legal expert, so I may omit or misinterpret some of the provisions. Therefore, I request our learned LLB friends to assist us in the comment section. A lot of people out there have switched brands because of problem cars, and I call them scraps. Some people are voiceless and they are just stuck with cars they are not happy with. So to give a voice to the voiceless, let me share with you the steps you should follow if you have just bought a headache. To be honest, the justice system in this country is useless to ordinary South Africans because it often favors those with money. That's why doing things by the book is a waste of time sometimes. To survive in this country, you must be a kandashisanyana of some sort. Tshwantshe screwnyana se se loose in your head, just in case mahuanya go buys it. One thing you should note is that a car is a high value asset, so it is impossible for dealerships to replace every single car that is faulty. Hence, demanding a replacement car should always be the last resort. When you have just purchased depression, the first step you should take is to try to get the dealership to sort out the problems. You can't just demand a refund or a replacement car just because the daytime running lights in your brand new car are not working properly. Cars are made by human beings, therefore they are bound to have faults. That's why they come with a warranty, which is sort of an insurance that covers the car against any sort of breakdown that is not related to misuse or normal wear and tear. So let's say you try to get your car fixed, like in my case, but you are not happy with the outcome. What should you do next? Well, you simply escalate the matter to someone who is in a management position within that particular dealership. When I first took the people's car back to the dealership to get it sorted, the infotainment system was dead, I couldn't change driving modes, and the car was constantly beeping a brake fluid level warning. I left the car with them the whole day and they literally did nothing, and I was unhappy with that, so I escalated the matter to the service manager and the new car sales manager. Then one technician fiddled with the wires under the hood and the brake fluid level warning disappeared. The infotainment system was not sorted and the car was still stuck in normal mode. But because I'm a very understanding and patient person, I agreed to continue driving a car with a dead infotainment system that was stuck in normal mode. You already know that story if you've been following this case. A couple of days later, the brake fluid level problem came back for the second time because those clowns merely disconnected the brake fluid level sensor and reconnected it back again to trick me into believing that they've sorted the problem. So I took the car back to the dealership again and gave them some more time to sort out the problems. The car stayed at the dealership for about 3 weeks and they finally sorted all the problems. I collected the car and 4 days later, the brake fluid level warning was back again for the third time. According to the Consumer Protection Act, Section 56, subsection 2, within 6 months after the delivery of any goods to a consumer, the consumer may return the goods to the supplier without penalty and at the supplier's risk and expense if the goods fail to satisfy the requirements and standards contemplated in Section 55. And the supplier must, at the direction of the consumer, either 1. Repair or replace the failed, unsafe or defective goods, or 2. Refund to the consumer the price paid by the consumer for the goods. So if they fail to sort out their problems, the next step is to push for a replacement or a refund depending on your appetite. This is where dealerships try to use all kinds of delay tactics to make sure they push you out of the 6 month period to render Section 56, subsection 2 of the Consumer Protection Act useless in your case. From here, you have to escalate the matter to the manufacturer's head office and make sure you involve the bank that financed the car if your vehicle is financed. I skipped this part and took matters into my own hands because I didn't want any unnecessary delays. They suggested that for a replacement car, I must write a letter to VWSA, and I told them I will do no such thing because I was 10 steps ahead of them. If VWSA doesn't address your complaint to your satisfaction, you can then take the matter to the Motor Industry Ombudsman of South Africa, which is a body that sort of governs the motoring industry. It is more like the HPCSA of the motor industry. Whatever you do, and no matter how much money you have, Don't rush into involving lawyers to enforce the Consumer Protection Act before going through all the steps I have mentioned, because you'd honestly be wasting your time and money. Also, dealerships afford bigger lawyers than you, so it will be like you are bringing a knife to a gunfight. If you have money and time, you can involve lawyers if your matter is not sorted by the ombudsman. Once you go the legal route, the case is gonna drag for a long time, and even if you win at the end, you would be emotionally and financially drained. It's a lose-lose situation. If you are really fed up with the car and you don't want to go the legal route, you can so much just sell the car and thinking. That's if you're gonna have no shortfall when you let go of the car. And this is exactly what I was planning to do in my case, and it was a trap for the dealership and they fell for it. I think they realized after I left that no man, this guy is up to something. And all of a sudden they were willing to offer a replacement car without me writing a letter to VWSA. So in summary, if you have just bought a problem car, the first step is to try to get the dealership to sort out the problem. If the problem is not sorted, you escalate the matter to the management within that particular dealership. If management fails to sort your problem, you escalate the matter to the manufacturer's head office and involve the bank that financed the car if your car is financed. If that fails, then you go to the Motor Industry Ombudsman of South Africa. Then you can go the legal route.